Good morning or good night, Gacha Kingdom. So, everybody that's new here to watch this video, please give me a minute to address my Gacha Kingdom for a sec, and we can continue on this video. If you don't care about that, then there's timestamps. You can just skip to it. Alright. If you're somehow seeing this Friday, that means that I've done everything in this video on the same day. Yes, I'm recording and editing and posting this video all on Friday. So, oh my god, Gacha God, Jiho, please give me strength. So if I'm talking faster than I usually am, that's why. Also, to everybody in the Fujo and Danchi Club, first of all, thank you for continuing to support my research into yaoi development. And if you would like to support my yaoi propaganda, you can join the membership for $1. I would greatly appreciate that. Mwah, thank you. I added a new emote. You can now use Anice's disappointed face whenever I'm not talking about your mans or your favorite ships or whatever. You can show your disappointment by using Anice's face. And I think that's all I wanted to say to the Gacha Kingdom. So we can now talk about the topic of this video, XXL Woofia. XXL Woofia or double XL Woofia, I don't really give a fuck. Hunter X Hunter, it's not that deep. Released in 2025 and it was developed by SG Arts Games. If you want to play the super research version, it was licensed by Playhorny and you can download it there. If you find Bulges hotter, or if you want to play the safe work version because your parents are around, and or your iPhone is like, hey, you downloaded malware every month or so, it was licensed by Mega Games on the Google Play Store and on the Apple Store. According to the Google Play Store, the synopsis for this game is just all pumped up, a fantastic adventure just for you, pals. Alright, I'm sold. You play as Ying Hugeeu. Yes, that is his name. Phoenix Wright Aha as name. Ying Hugeeu. One day when you're hanging out with your co-workers and your besties, all of a sudden slimes start falling out of the sky. Oh my god, and they're sucking the libido out straight out of the guys in Woofia. Holy shit, oh god. So you and your gang split up and beat the shit out of these slimes in two groups. And then your group run into Navi from Zelda, and Navi's like, hey, you have like a power that like nobody else in Woofia has. And you're like, really? And then like your fitness wristwatch thing like shoots out green ropes all of a sudden. You're like, whoa, holy shit, I do. And then you meet up together, become one group, and then one of them's really tired, so you're like, hey dude, like you want some help, and you touch him, and then all of a sudden he feels better because your ropes and your energy actually regenerate the libido of these guys. And you're like, whoa, holy shit, no way. But you can't think about that for long because one of your strongest besties just got corrupted by the slime and now he's evil. So you have to use your power of BDSM to rope him back in, and then you have sex with him, and then now he feels better. This doesn't actually happen, but basically Navi, which by the way, if you've never played Zelda before, this thing is actually not called Navi, his name is Flybo, comes up to you and goes, hey, there's other places in Woofia that are getting attacked by these slimes, but like not actually slimes, but like they're being sucked out of their libido. So like, why don't you and me go out into Woofia and we help out all these other people that are suffering from these slime attacks, basically. And because Hugeeu's got a big heart and he's just like that, he's like, yeah, sure, let's do it. Let's save all these guys from Woofia and beat the shit out of these slimes and figure out who the fuck is doing all this shit. And that's basically the story of double XL Woofia. By the way, yes, this in-game world is called Woofia. It's basically like if Zenless Zone Zero was called New Airdo Zero. If you couldn't tell with me recapping what happens within the first hour of this game's story is pretty goofy, and it's not really good, but like it's really goofy. It doesn't really take itself very seriously, which is honestly really a blessing because I don't really see this game with these type of men having such like a serious story. And I know that I am reviewing this game within the first year of its story content, which is usually the time of like when gacha games don't really have like a good story, and it's also very bare when it comes to main story content. But like the literal next chapter of this story is basically Hugeeu goes to a Ram Ranch style ranch where you have to help out Dalawan here because all the bull folk are like spent out and they can't produce milk.
What?
So you have to help them out, and in return, if you help them out, Dalawan will offer you A5 Ram Ranch grade milk. straight from the tap, mind you. On that note, most of the characters in this game are pretty flat. Like, most of the characters don't even meet hugeeu. Like, the event that we're having right now with Dog Man and Big Man, I don't think they're both ever gonna meet hugeeu. And personally, for me, like, why would you add characters when they're not gonna even be part of the main story anyways? Somebody on furry Twitter summed it up pretty nicely that Woofia is basically just, here's a new man, and then you meet him, and then he has sex with you, and then he leaves. Unless we're talking about beernox, and his story is basically just, you meet him, and then you have sex with him, and then he realizes that, hey, maybe I shouldn't just be working under the table for under minimum wage, so he quits his part-time job and looks for another one. And now he has a connection with a dragon that's really rich and stuff like that, and then he leaves. Even in the main story, when the characters show up and like talk a bunch and shit like that, they don't really go anywhere. Like, Yorick is just the archetypal big orc that's really strong and punches shit, but he's really stupid and dumb, but he's friendly. And there's not really a lot of characters in the main story that really go anywhere. Like, I can only think of one, and he's the main evil guy in chapter 5 and 6. There you go. And I'll get to him in a sec because he's interesting, but like, he's the only one that ever goes anywhere. Like, the most recent chapter 7 does have like Fugue and Cantos. I do like their little cute relationship, but they don't really go anywhere. Like, their archetypes are, Cantos is the stupid but prodigy that's kind of dunce, and Fugue is like a tsundere. And then like later on, like, Fugue has to protect Cantos, and Cantos is like, oh my god, he liked me for real, holy shit, no way. If you do care about spoilers, I am now going to go into Spoiler Man because he's like the most interesting character out of the entire cast. So you can skip to the timestamp that says gameplay right now. Okay, here we go. Damien is the evil guy from chapter 5 and 6, and he's also, I think, the CEO of the like tower that hugeeu goes into and something like that. I honestly forgot, but he's interesting because not only is he the elf archetype, so he's been living for like 500 million dillion years, so he's seen everything that Woofia has to offer, but his main motive is basically just like, well, like, the male libido desire to have sex like has stunted Woofia's growth, so to make sure that Woofia like succeeds and like goes into like a brighter future or some shit like that, like, so I started sucking the libido out of them with these suction sex toys and shit like that. And that's why the Ram Ranch like had like sex toys that sucked the libido out of all the bullfolk and stuff like that. And then hugeeu comes in and you beat the shit out of him, and then you're like, well, I'll show you how good sex is. And then you have sex with Damien, and then Damien's like, damn, sex is pretty good. I just remembered a very common complaint about the characters before we get into the gameplay is the fact that a lot of them are bottoms. And a lot of people on furry Twitter are like, well, why do they got a gigantic ass ding while like they don't actually put them in ass? And as a certified negative 100% top, I can guarantee you that if they were real, they would be using that dick. I guarantee you. And also, if you're going to go into the comments and tell me that I have to read a character's story to actually know the character, girl, I ain't about to read all that. Okay, gameplay. If you've played an SG Arts game before, like New Carni or the 10 people that have played Tenka Fuma before, then you know exactly what you're getting yourself into. It's a quote-unquote turn-based RPG game, and it's basically just an auto-scroller battler, cookie clicker, grandma's cookies. There's a weapon triangle, red beats green, green beats blue, blue beats red, and then light and dark are neutral against the 3 weapon triangle, but light beats dark, dark beats light, and then they beat the shit out of each other, and then effects happens, and then you buff people, and then you heal people, and then you debuff people and stuff like that, yada yada. It works. It's fun when you aren't like on auto. Like, if a battle is like actually hard and you have to like stop and actually think for like 5 seconds, it's nice, it's cool, but like for a gacha grind, it can be real hard sometimes. I almost forgot. The gay sex. We're playing this game so that I can look at gay sex. Of course, duh. Unlike in New Carnival where you have to pull the character 3 times total just so that you can actually unlock the scenes where you can look at them having sex. In Woofia, all you have to do is pull the character and then you just edge the man for like about a couple of days or so. And then you can get the first scene, which is like the story scene, and then you get like a beginning CGs of like, it's not animated but like they're doing the thing, and then the third heart is like them like animated. Oh, that man is getting dicked down. Holy shit ball. We do gotta talk about the gacha in this game because this is a gacha game after all. So the rates in this game are 3% for a 5-star or an SSR, or in this game's case an XXL, which is better than Fake Grand Order, so that's looking pretty good. However, of that 3%, you're actually looking at a 40-60% ratio of actually winning the character that's on rate up for the most part. If you do end up losing your 40-60%, that 60% is going to be from the selection of 5 stars that they put onto that banner, because they don't actually put the entire standard 5-star selection into just the banner if you do lose your 60%. For example, on Shin's banner right now, if you do lose your 60%, you might have a chance of getting Ming, Beernox, or Kafka, while the previous banner for Anuberus was Ming, Beernox, and Taiyang Suyi. I don't think I have to mention it, but I'm going to mention it anyways because some people are dumb just like me. Ming and Beernox aren't always the characters selected for when you do lose your 40-60% when you're doing a rate up banner. That's just happened to be the selection that SG Arts chose. That said, the rate up characters are also supposed to be added to the standard pool soon. I just don't know when, because someone told me that Locke and Orem supposed to be into the standard pool soon, and if that's the case, I'm just saving my standard pools. Please come home, Locke, please. Oh my god, please. In terms of generosity, this game is pretty good when it comes to just giving out pulls for free, especially when you're a newbie. When you're starting out, they just give you a bunch of standard pulls just for free, just so that you can get your first 5-star character and then you can fuck around with them and do shit like that. And then afterwards, when you do get the regular standard banner, they do give you 1 free pull per day. So you could theoretically get all the 5 stars in this game for free. It just might take a while because obviously you get 1 pull per day and that might take a while. By the way, hard pity in this game, I didn't mention, is 80 pulls. And when you do a 10 pull, you actually get 11 pulls because you get quote unquote 1 for free. Ooh, wow. Generosity aside, I will say it's very deceptively really hard to get pulls on the limited banner because the premium currency in this game being rainbow gems, squint your eyes, it reminds me of something. Anyway, if you get these rainbow gems, you would think that you could just convert them just to get golden bells, and golden bells are the way that you can actually pull on the new rate up characters. But that's wrong. You can only get golden bells by actually getting golden bells. And the rainbow gems you can only use on the standard banner. And the only way to get golden bells other than actually playing the game is spending money on this game. As a free-to-play man, I don't really fuck around with the idea, and that kind of like balances out like the generosity of this game, because a lot of people will say that this game's generous, but at the same time like they fucking around with stuff like that. The overall quality for this game is really high quality. Like SG Arts must have learned a lot from New Carni and also subsequently Taika Fuma, because like the men, they get like beefy men and then they get like big men. Like it's high quality art, and the music is like stereotypically gay. I really hate the fact that I like the music in this game because it's almost like stereotypical menu music for like a rhythm game. Like it's very EDM club kind of music. It really do kind of slap. Like there was a lot of points in this game where I just like stopped playing and like just like listened to it for a little bit. I was like, wait, this kind of fucks. The UI is pretty standard, but it seems that they learned a lot from New Carni because they don't just slap everything at the bottom of the phone. So a lot of the stuff will pull up, and then the most recent things will be at the top. They're also really big, so if you do got big hands like me, you don't have to worry about like slapping the wrong icon and then you get brought to the wrong menu and you're like, god damn it, and then you have to like hit the back button like 5 times just to get back to the menu that you actually want to be at. It's great. I like the paint of the UI as well. I fuck around with this LA street core ass aesthetic that they're going for with this game. It's great. And also, this game just performs very well. There wasn't any time when I was playing this game on BlueSky to record it and on my phone. Just on the regular, there wasn't any times that the game crashed or anything like that. XXL Woofia is a very particular type of game, and you can just look at the men that we have in this game and you immediately know that this game is for you or this game is definitely not for you. And it kind of just knows its target audience to the T. This game literally holds back nothing if you download the entire research version, and not even gonna lie, quote unquote safe for work version doesn't really hold back either. So again, if you want to fuck around with this game, it's free, so you might as well just give it a try. And the worst like outcome is the fact that, oh, I wasted like 10 gigabytes and maybe a few days on this game. Damn. I believe that's everything I wanted to talk about with Woofia. I don't know how long I will keep playing Woofia, because with New Carnival, I ended up dropping New Carnival about 6 months after I made my New Carnival video, just because the gameplay is just so repetitive, and when you're not actually playing the game, it gets really boring. So I will see how long this Woofia journey takes me. As for another gacha game review, I was going to review Noctilucent Before Dawn this month. However, they recently just announced that the final chapter for Noctilucent will be out in December. And after that chapter, there will be no new content for Noctilucent, which, saying that out loud, is really sad, because I thought that Noctilucent was also going to be around for a lot longer than it was. Shit happens, I guess, and I hope the Noctilucent team drops another game and they don't just drop out of the face of the planet. So you can expect a Noctilucent Before Dawn video sometime in January next year. And the Zenless Zone design team, yo, they dropped a big man Wednesday, yo, big man.